have some fun stuff tonight. I'm going to use the Pixie Dough. Now, I have not used it with this mold. This is just, this is actually from Redesign, but it has these cute little bell flowers on it. So I'm going to use the Pixie Dough in there. And then I have the hummingbirds. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to use some paint too. So I've got some brushes. My favorite the shortstop. You guys know I love this brush. If you don't have this brush yet, it should be on your list. This is the Turquoise Iris shortstop. I have several of them. I use them all the time. I'm also going to use from her collection, I'm going to use the mop a little bit. So then I've got some magical chalk paint. Which way does it go? In marshmallow. And I brought honeycomb. I brought Bombini cocktail. And I brought blue Java banana. You know what? I just haven't used this in a while, and I need to use it. It's such a good color. And then I also brought the sour apple. So I think I'm going to use the honeycomb and the sour apple on the molds. All right, so I just have this little cradle board here. This one actually has quite a big scratch on it. Can you see that? So I'm going to cover it with a little bit of tissue. So I'm going to just get a little bit of the blue Java banana. Okay, so I'm just going to plop some right on. Could have had a little skin on top, so that I just forced it out. I'm going to use, so this shortstop, you can see it's just a little beaten and battered. And I may have left it in some water, so that'll happen, right? Especially if you're me. And it's just a really quick blend. These paints are so cool because they have acrylic in them. And so they've got a lot of blendability with a lot of pigment. So look at how quick and easy that was. Okay, so I have the Meltdown here. And this is it's a water-based sealer. It has a wax-like finish, but it's good for decoupaging. And so the reason why I'm going to use this to decoupage is because I want a really wet medium right now. Because what I want is I want it to saturate my paper. And I want it to saturate my paper because I want the Bombini and the blue Java banana to peek through. So I'm just going to put a generous amount. So you'll know if it's hot in your house because this will dry pretty quick if it does. And right now I don't want it to dry super fast. And I'm using a light touch because I don't want to reactivate the paint that I just dried. So not only am I, it's already starting to dry. So I'm actually gonna put some on top too, because that is also going to help saturate my paper, right? Now you can use this and do this technique with thicker tissue. You can make your own tissue. Use napkins, whatever you got. But you have to use a liquid medium, and if your paper is too dark, it's not going to show what's underneath. So now I'm super careful here because liquid mediums make your paper tear. Until this is drying so fast. So I'm just going to get some on my brush. Now again, I'm using the Meltdown. It is our water-based, one of our 2 water-based sealers, and I like it for decoupaging. It's nice. Okay, now you can see how that really saturated, right? And all those, I used 2. The Bombini cocktail and the blue Java banana are popping through, and it's really, really pretty. So I'm making sure that my brush is super saturated because this is a tissue paper. It's really, really thin. You will tear it if it starts to dry and you're dragging your brush. So next, I'm going to mute out some of this background. Okay, I don't want all of these to show through because it's going to be competing, right? We do want we want differences, right, when we're making our composition, but we don't want so many differences that we can't have a clear path, right? We want a clear path for the eye to sort of travel across the composition, the page, the canvas, the cradle board, whatever it is that you're working on. And so I'm going to mute this out a little bit. And I think I want it this way, so those letters are up the right way. This is the Iris Pro Mop from the Turquoise Iris collection. And I am just squirting a little bit of water into my marshmallow because I don't want to go on real thick right away, just in case it's too much, right? I want to have a little control, and then I can build my color up from there. So you can see I'm really twisting and turning my brush. I don't want to make a pattern. I really do not want to make a pattern. I just want it to be muted a little bit, bits and pieces coming through. And so you can control that. If you decide, oh, you know what, I really want that part to come through, take a paper towel, get it wet, and dab it on there, and you can remove. You can only do that when it's pretty wet though. So this paint reactivates, but it's going on top of a tissue, right? It's going to saturate the tissue, and then you can't reactivate the tissue, right? So just working quick. I think I'm going to just take a little tiny bit of this Bombini, and I mean just a little baby bit. Can you even see that? Baby bit. Baby bit. Those of you who have been with me for a while know that if I am going to give away something, I give it to somebody who has sprinkled. So you see I'm kind of building the color up around the outside. Yeah. And again, I don't want it to be super, super bright. I'm going to use my paper towel and just kind of smudge it a little bit. So I'm getting a little bit of a different mark. So I'm still using the same tool to apply, but I want it to be a little bit more smooth. And so I'm just using my paper towel to kind of smudge it, blot it, and smooth it. Okie dokie. I'm going to use the Pixie Doh. Now, if you haven't used this before, it's so much fun. I love it way better than air dry clay. It's light and fluffy like a marshmallow, like it says right here. And so I'm going to pull that out in a second. But what's going to be really, really important is that I use some cornstarch. And I want to liberally cornstarch the mold. Look at that. It's real stringy, right? But it doesn't stick to your fingers. So what I like to do is I like to kind of just warm it up in my hands for a minute. And then I'm going to pull off, and you can kind of mash it together. So I'm going to just kind of go small here for a minute. And I'm just really kind of forming it into the mold. Hummingbird. So this is sticky on the back for those of you who have never done this before, and you just kind of press it down. And then take a credit card, an old hotel key, a craft stick. These are transfer sticks from another set, and you want to burnish this. Okay, and burnish is a fancy word for rubbing. And you're just going to burnish it really, really, really well before you start to try to pull it up. Just burnish it all over the place.